He lounged in that leather chair as if he were royalty looking down on peasants. "Congratulations, Patricia. We're giving the promotion to Susan. She's quicker, sharper, and far more valuable than you could ever be. Honestly, you should be grateful we've kept you this long." The room chuckled softly, a cautious chorus, like scavengers laughing at a predator's joke. Heat rose to my face, but I kept my practiced smile steady. I slid an envelope across his desk. "Thank you for the opportunity," I murmured. He had no idea what that envelope contained. I'd met him 5 years earlier, back when his presence was magnetic, charisma wrapped in expensive suits. He shook my hand as though we'd known each other for years, promising growth guidance and a future worth working for. He told me I was different, and I believed him. I stayed late, corrected his errors, and even defended him when quiet rumors of shady accounting practices spread. I assumed loyalty would mean something, but with men like him, loyalty was nothing more than leverage. The first warning was subtle. My assignments were quietly handed to others. Credit for my work appeared under Susan's name. Meetings I should have led went on without me. Then came the email, a reply not meant for me. Keep stringing her along. She's cheap labor until Susan's ready. I stared at the words, my pulse steady, my chest cold. It wasn't heartbreak. It was clarity. I didn't confront him. That would have been rash, emotional, weak. Instead, I began paying attention, listening, collecting. Every insult, every number, every careless confession he spilled after one too many drinks. He liked to boast that he'd never been caught, that he hadn't paid taxes honestly a day in his life. "It's called strategy," he grinned. I kept my expression neutral while my memory recorded every word. It took months of quiet work. Late at night, while the cleaning crew vacuumed, I copied files and tucked them onto a drive taped under my desk drawer. Bank statements, fake invoices, payments routed through shell companies with names like Silverberg Consulting. I traced them carefully, one by one. By the time Susan's promotion was announced, my evidence was airtight. That envelope I slid across his desk wasn't a resignation letter. It was a neatly compiled financial report, damning in its precision. On top of it, an anonymous note. Federal investigators love puzzles. I've already solved this one for them. He didn't bother opening it, tossed it aside with that trademark smirk. To him, I was irrelevant. Perfect. The real delivery came 2 hours later, while he toasted Susan with champagne paid for by weekends I'd worked without pay. A package of drives, records, and timelines landed on the desk of a federal agent I'd been speaking to for weeks. Nothing left to chance. 3 weeks passed in silence. Then the storm broke. His accounts frozen overnight. Then the raid. Agents in dark suits storming the office, seizing computers, servers, every wire they could find. He tried to bluff, laugh it off, but when they pulled receipts, shell companies, and offshore transfers, the smirk vanished. Susan stood by the window, pale, clutching her promotion letter as though it might shield her. She wasn't guilty, just another pawn he had used. Like me, they marched him out in handcuffs. Cameras flashed. His arrogance finally shattered. I never returned to that office. Didn't need to. While the company collapsed under headlines, I sat in a quiet cafe and watched the news scroll across the TV. Millionaire CEO arrested for fraud. Lavish lifestyle built on stolen wages. Messages poured in from old coworkers. Did you know? Are you surprised? I answered with nothing more than, guess he wasn't as clever as he thought. Justice doesn't shout. It doesn't need to. It's quiet, precise, more scalpel than hammer. I could have fought Susan for scraps of acknowledgement. Could have begged for respect. Instead, I dismantled his empire piece by piece. That night, alone in my apartment, I opened the final envelope I kept for myself. Copies of his signature sprawled across falsified forms. Evidence of greed in his own hand. I burned them in the sink, not out of fear, but to mark the end. People sometimes ask if I regret it. I don't. He gambled with lives and futures, assuming no one had the courage to stop him. He underestimated the quiet woman in the corner, the one he dismissed as replaceable. And that's always the downfall of men like him. They never see it coming. When he leaned back in that chair, mocking me, he thought he'd already won. But the truth was his fate had been sealed long before. Every smirk, every laugh in that room meant nothing, because his sentence had already been delivered, and watching his empire fall wasn't just satisfying. It was justice.